So don't let the fact that it's difficult to wrap your head around the particulars of how the universe was created um, rob you of your opportunity for salvation. Um, and I say that with all due respect for science and the limited information and role that science, limited function that science can play in our reality, because there's a lot to be gained. But all knowledge comes through the Creator. Um, every time we think as humans we've got a secular answer for origins, beginnings, and Genesis, we are humbled in how complicated, complex, and mathematically unlikely all of this is. Creation, why? And even if you see it, the evidence of the reality of it, it doesn't explain the why. You can get some idea as to what, you know, you can understand, okay, gravity, photons, protons, neutrons, atomic weight, you know, body in motion tends to stay in motion. A body at rest will stay at rest until acted upon by an outside force. All of those things aren't untrue. Those things, those discoveries, those realizations, those revelations just don't explain why they mean anything. And who decided or what decided that they mean anything, you know? It's not that gravity doesn't have a great or the strong nuclear force doesn't have a lot of value. Why does it have value? Who set it up so that the strong nuclear force, the weak nuclear force, electromagnetic, the electromagnetic spectrum, who decided to structure those things in those ways? That's the problem. You can describe it forward and backwards, how it works, where it's, how it works in this scenario, how, light travels at a different speed through, a vacuum than it does through a medium. That's great. I don't doubt any of that. The problem is who decided that light would travel at a different speed through glass, water, the vacuum of space, and all of those things. Those things are rules that have to be put down in place. And to just develop naturally on their own, possibly, but it's not likely. And you get to the point of not just describing the origins of that stuff, but, again, you run out of time, even with hundreds of billions of years, for everything to just randomly create itself like that. Why am I saying all that? Because it's another way to understand that an unlimited God, that can create creation, has no problem with a Trinity and being an id beyond that which our limited, narrow consciousness can understand. So you get Jesus in the Old Testament before his birth. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. And David foresaw the coming of creation. And I'm looking down at my notes because I've got this stuff written down. I'm going to go briefly through, see if we can't find David in Psalms 16. Actually, let's go to Genesis 15:15. I'll start a little bit before 15. I'll start at 12. Now when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and behold, the horror and great darkness fell upon him. Then he said to Abram, "No certainty that your descendants will be strangers in a land that is not theirs, and will serve them, and they will afflict them 400 years. And also the nation whom they serve I will judge. Afterward they shall come out with great possessions." And this is God talking to Abraham. "Now as for you, you shall go to your fathers in peace." It means when he passes away. "You shall be buried at a good old age." So God's telling Abraham he'll live to a good old age. "But in the fourth generation they shall return here, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet complete." Yes, so that is, well, if Abraham is outside of where he was, if he's in this new land, and he passes away, he's not sleeping. How does he go to be with his fathers? Well, when Abraham passes away, he goes to Sheol, Hades, but again, isn't in the suffering part. He's on the other side of the part, Abraham's bosom, which is him. You getting all this? Everyone that died went to hell, but not everyone who was in hell that died was suffering. God had separated them across a chasm that protected them, and Christ, through his sacrifice on the cross, redeemed them and reversed them and allowed them access to the true kingdom of God, which redeeming man is allowed in his presence. Because one interesting thing is that the true presence of God isn't spoken about after the fall of man, as far as humans being allowed to walk in the garden with God or be in his glory and his presence. After that, you get things like you can't even be touching the Ark of the Covenant. See, sin really did a number on us, and I know that sounds stupid the way I'm putting it, but yeah, the entrance of sin into physical creation created a chasm between us and our Creator, and one of the reasons the enemy took control of, or at least mass influence over creation, was because of, in some ways, our free will put that chasm between us and God through our choice to be sinful. And, again, I have some issues with this, challenges, and it's a complex thing when you get into the particulars. I get it, and everyone's going to struggle with that, especially when you get into some other things Paul wrote. But, yes, what I'm saying is what we are to be thankful for, as I spin us back to, what did I write here? Psalms 16. We're gonna go to Psalm 16. What I really hope we're all thankful for is my ability to find Psalms. How is Psalms the biggest chapter in the Bible? Here we go. Psalms 16, 8-11. Let's see what we got here. Psalm 16, and the subtext says, the hope of the faithful and the Messiah's victory. Preserve me, O God, for you I put my trust. O my soul, you have said to the Lord, you are my Lord. My goodness is nothing apart from you. I'm starting in Psalm 16, but I'm going to get to 8. As for the saints who are on the earth, they are the excellent ones, in whom is all my delight. Their sorrow shall be multiplied, who hasten after another God. Their drinks offering of blood I will not offer, nor take up their names on my lips. O Lord, you are the portion of my inheritance and my cup. You maintain my lot. The lines have fallen to me in pleasant places. Yes, I have a good inheritance. I will bless the Lord, who has given me counsel. My heart also instructs me in the night seasons. Okay, we go to 8. I have set the Lord always before me, because he is at my right hand, I shall not be removed. Therefore my heart is glad, and my glory rejoices. My flesh also will rest in hope, for you will not leave my soul in sheol. See, this is the same thing that we read in the New Testament. So Peter, when he wrote in Acts, is a direct quote, and this is, as I had said earlier, David attesting that he foresaw what Christ was going to do and take them out of Sheol. For you will not leave my soul in Sheol, nor will you allow your Holy One to see corruption. You will show me the path of life. In your presence is fullness of joy, and your right hand are pleasures forevermore. And in Sheol, so there's this chasm, there's the good people who are apparently in Sheol, the followers of Christ, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who are not being tortured. So what's the deal with the people who are in hate? Well, they're in the abyss. And yes, Seasons in the Abyss. I think that's, who's that? Is that Metallica? Seasons in the Abyss. Luke 8:31 is the, I won't read it. Luke 8:31. Turn to Luke 8:31. And that's basically the thing where Jesus cast out the demons who are legion, and they asked to be put into the pigs and all that stuff. And the legion of demons that are cast out and put into the pigs? Have you come to torture us before our time? Have you come to... It mentions that they are from the abyss. And, you know, I think a lot more needs to be about the origin of demons. Are they just fallen spirits, wandering spirits, fallen angels? Yeah, much more needs to be spoken about that. But let me go back with Luke, because once you get started with this stuff, it's hard to stop, isn't it? Always hard to stop. And this is already a two-parter. Luke 8, come on. You need to have more than one Bible sometimes. Doing this stuff. All right, Luke 8:31. Okay. What have I to do with you, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I beg you, do not torment me. For he had commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man. For it had often seized him, and he was kept under guard, bound with chains and shackles. And he broke the bonds and was driven by the demon into the wilderness. Jesus asked him, saying, What is your name? And he said, Legion, because many demons had entered him. And they begged him that he would not command them to go back out into the abyss. Now I heard of many swine, pigs, was feeding there on the mountain. So they begged him that he would permit them to enter them, and he permitted them. Then the demons went out of the man and entered the swine, and the herd ran violently down the steep palace into the lake and drowned. But what did they say? The demons begged Jesus not to send them back down into the abyss. That's the abyss in Sheol. That's the abyss in Hades. Tartarus. Okay, so this is going to be a two-parter that I'm going to try to together and download. But yeah, again, in a nutshell, that's what we have to be thankful for. We don't have to go to hell. Yeah, it's fascinating. All through the Old Testament, from Genesis clear to Psalms, David saw it and predicted it, to Legion, mentioning the abyss. And I need to redo this and speak more about the abyss. And that I'll try to do that with my next video. But yeah, our God is an awesome God. And the Bible will never fail to impress you. All right. Anyway, happy Thanksgiving. Now that you know that you are free to enter the presence of God in the kingdom of God in heaven because of our redemption by Christ. And yeah, what more is there to be thankful for?